Endgame. Chapter 28. I don't know how long I floated through this eerie, brilliant, wondrous landscape of pure energy and purest beauty. Time was for other creatures. Time's arrow did not carry me along with it. I knew nothing of this. I was a mere creature, for all my multitudes, for all my powers, I was, after all, a mere mortal creature. It was as if one of the primitive Andalites I'd known had suddenly been thrust into the command center of a starship. I was an ignorant savage. An extreme primitive. But I knew this, as simple and primitive as I might be, I could literally touch and move the vibrating lines of space-time. Was I grown extremely big? Or had I shrunk to submolecular size? Size meant nothing. There was no size in this place. I lived, and that was all I knew. I was alive without form, alive without synapses to fire, without food to devour, without limbs to control. I saw without eyes and tasted without tongue and moved with no wings or pods or engines to move me. This I knew. And I knew one other thing as well, a lesson hard learned from millennia of war: my foe would find me. An absurdly rare event, a cosmic coincidence had fashioned me. The odds? The odds were billions to 1, trillions to 1, incalculable. But those were odds of this thing happening once. The odds of it happening again were great. Kryak learned, Kryak watched. Once I revealed myself to him, once I acted in such a way as to show myself, Kryak would find the way to follow me here. And as I was unchanged in mind and morality, so he would be unchanged. Carefully, frightened at last into true humility, I began to study this new environment. I found I could see into the real world, see the events and peoples who made up these space-time strands. They seemed to rise and mature and age and fall in the blink of an eye, and as I watched and studied and learned, I knew that hundreds of thousands and finally millions of years were passing in real space. I saw Kryak out there, still at his evil work. I saw lines go dark, unravel, coil up into nothingness as he massacred planets. Billions of lives become nothingness. I had planted a great deal of life, and my Pemalites still lived to spread more, but the tide was turning once more in Kryak's favor. At last, knowing I had so much more still to learn, knowing my own deep inadequacy, I struck back. Kryak entered a system of 9 planets orbiting a medium yellow star. 2 of the worlds, a red planet and a blue, were populated. The red planet was already doomed, its atmosphere was oozing away, and Kryak could do no real harm there. But the blue planet teemed with life. The dominant species type were huge, brutish beasts in a fantastic array of forms, giant, slow-moving plant-eaters and violent, rapacious killers with daring teeth and deadly talons. There was intelligence there, but no sentience. I could see it so clearly. Not in the great, domineering brutes, but in a handful of small, swift, fur-bearing prey animals did the future of this world lie. They had only to be left alone, and in 40 or 60 million years there would emerge a great people. Kryak saw none of his, he saw only that there was life there. He aimed his weapons at the blue planet and fired, and I drew gently on the fabric of space-time and his weapons struck nothing. The planet was gone, halfway around its orbit. He tried again, and each time I applied my crude but powerful countermeasures. And then, in confusion, Kryak withdrew to consider. I knew he would be with me soon.